Can you believe that we only have a few weeks left of this year? It is blowing my mind each and every day how quickly time is moving along, and I didn't realize that it was December 9th until just now, and that I had not yet done my recap of the books I read during November. I will be doing another video like this at the end of December, ranking the top 5 books that I read in 2022, but this video is all about ranking the books that I read in November, and it's gonna be the last one of this year. Actually, also going to be the shortest of the year. I don't know what happened in November. I didn't even read 5 books that I could do my usual, like, top 5 books I read this past month. All I read was 4, and those books were The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, My Evil Mother by Margaret Atwood, and The Wilder Women by Ruth M. Lang. Hope you didn't blink because you would have missed it. I will put those in a ranking of 4 to 1, so let's get started. Coming in at number 4 is My Evil Mother by Margaret Atwood. So this is technically a short story, but it has over 50 pages, so it's kind of like short-ish story of a girl who, whenever she was younger, believes her mother to be magical, and as she gets older, she finds out the reality, the truth about her mother. I don't want to say any more than that because since it's not a full-length novel, I feel that if I do say any more than that, it would really spoil the story. So this was actually really good. I read it in one sitting, and I did find this a lot different from the other Margaret Atwood things that I have read in the past, which typically do fall, of course, into the dystopian genre. This was not. It was more like a realistic fantasy kind of sad story. But I overall did like it. I probably wouldn't have like picked it out from a lineup, but whenever I ordered, like this was like months and months back, when I got one of my Amazon Prime first reads, books of the month, that sort of thing, they threw this one in for free. And since it was on the bookshelf already, I was like, I have like 30 minutes to kill. Let me read this short story. But regardless, I really did enjoy it. Now, coming in at number 3 is the classic, The Great Gatsby. Now, this is the second time I was reading The Great Gatsby. I read both during adulthood. I just finished drilling this into my seniors' heads. I read it before just to make sure, you know, like to refresh my memory. Still holds up. I didn't read it in college like a lot of people who I was like,
I'm teaching The Great Gatsby now.
They were either like, I read that my senior year, I read that in college. I don't remember when I read it, but it was well after I was out of college. And I remember really enjoying it then, and I really did enjoy it now. It was a lot sadder than I remember it being. I don't know if it's because I'm a lot older now. I think I have like 10 years on myself from the first time that I read it. So I do like rereading books sometimes because the meaning changes. Like the ending, if you don't know how The Great Gatsby ends, I'm not going to spoil that for you. The ending was a lot sadder. Like as I was reading it, I was like, oh, the older you get, the sadder the whole book is, because the first time I read it, I remember being like, oh, this is really cool. Like they have a whole bunch of parties, and you know, because it's set in the 1920s and it follows Gatsby, who's like this super rich guy who throws a ton of parties. And so like the first time I read it, I guess I just read it at that face value, and I was like, oh yeah, fun. Okay. Okay, that's a shocking ending. Now as a I would say middle-aged adult because I don't know when I'm going to die, but like, you know, mid-30s adult, I'm like, all of these characters are super sad. I still do recommend that you read it. Just, you know, depending on how emotional of a person you are, you might want to read it with a Kleenex box sitting next to you. I didn't cry though. Like, I know I'm always like, this made me cry. I didn't cry. But if you were more emotional than me, you might. That's all I'm saying. Coming in at number 2 is The Wilder Women. I have 2 videos where I talk about this book. I'll link them down below in the description box. Those are both Book of the Month unboxings, and I'm looking because it's still right here. I just finished a few days ago filming my Book of the Month unboxing, and I did not put it back on the shelf. So this is the book. This was a really good book. I really did enjoy it. Like, it gets like a 5 out of 5 stars. Actually, let me see all of these. I've actually given all of these a 5 out of 5 stars. Wilder Women follows 2 sisters. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Sadie. It's with a Z. Zadie and Finn, as they drive across the country trying to find their mother Nora, who has disappeared. And this really is sort of a journey, coming of age-ish type of story where they learn a lot about their mother, themselves, and each other. I really did enjoy the book. I found it really lyrical, and I liked the message. I don't know if like this is supposed to be the message, but it's something that I took. Both daughters have clairvoyant abilities. One can see the past through memories, and one can see the future. And they kind of think like they realize they both have it, but they both think like they're the only ones who have it. But through the course of the book, they realize that they're not alone in that. And I thought that was really cool. It was kind of a really cool message that if you like look beyond yourself, you're going to find others like you. And that is something that I really did enjoy about The Wilder Women. That means coming in at number 1 is The Last House on Needless Street. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about this book. One of those psychological thriller horror type books. It follows 3 different narrations. So we have, and I've already forgotten their names because my memory is not that great with names lately. One of the characters is a grown man. Another character is a grown woman. And then the third character is a cat. And that was so cool to see. Like, I loved that. To see exactly, I was wondering how the author was going to write from the perspective of a cat. And it was so clever the way that this author did that. So all of the storylines do really intermingle, and they all center around the fact that many years ago, a little girl disappeared. And they're all living in the town around where it happened, and they're all trying to figure out, to an extent, what happened with the girl who went missing. Listen to me when I tell you there is going to be a twist that you 1,000,000% did not see coming. Like, I don't care how good you think you are with books like this. Trust. I read the majority of this while waiting for my endocrinologist appointment, and I had to stop myself from screaming when we got to the twist in the book. It's a good twist. I just have to say. I had to wait. I get the majority of my books through the public library because I can't be affording all of these new books besides, like my $15 book of the month. But I was on the waiting list for a while for this book, and I'm really glad that I did stick it out and wait. It was good. It's still circling in the back of my mind. Now you have to let me know in the comments down below if you read any of these books and what you thought about them. I would love to hear from you. That is it for me today, and that is it for the very final what I read last month of 2022. Forward to hanging out with you in 2023 as we talk through all of the books I read each month. If you have not done so already, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell before you leave here today to join our community. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in another video that YouTube should be recommending now.